Hello, and welcome back to the 6th Street Underground, a Zenless Zone Zero fan cast discussing all things ZZZ. As always, I'm your host, Eric, and I'm joined by my ever wonderful co-host, Brian. Hi, Brian.
Yeah, what it is.
Are you proud of that one, bud?
It's a little bit. The first line in my notes for the story is yee, because that's what I named.
Okay.
Yee, where's his name? We didn't even write his name down because we didn't think he was actually going to show up again.
It's not in our notes. I have my first line of my notes is this Shiyu parentheses brother, and I spent a lot of time just writing brother, and then other hyphen is brother, not Wobbuffet, to keep track of it.
Yeah, when I was writing these notes, I was like, I'm going to call him Yee because he's a Yee, but, you know, I mean, not actually but Eric says I'm not allowed to curse, so I can't say. Anyway, and then his other sister who immediately went by a new name, so I was like, oh, there was no need for even to put that in my notes.
It's so much more confusing than it should be. That's right, everybody. We're talking story today.
Story time.
Story time. The narrative for version 2.4. This is 4. This is 4?
This is 4.
This is 4.
I think for whatever reason, this one specific, like the amount of times, even I've been like, we're on 2.5, and I'm like, nope, we're on 2.4.
Yeah. Well, we had a whole 2 episodes hosted that had us talking about the wrong patch, and no one corrected it. So I don't think anybody knows what version we're on. We are going to talk about the story for 2.4, On the Precipice of the Abyss. There's also some other events going on, Brian, and I wanted to talk to you about those a little bit.
All right.
And before we talk about those, I wanted to talk to you about the current cycle for Deadly Assault and Shiyu Defense. Have you done the current cycle of Deadly Assault and or Shiyu Defense?
Yes, I've done the current cycle of Shiyu Defense.
Okay.
I haven't done Deadly Assault.
This was the first cycle in a while where I could not get away with ignoring the buff for the cycle.
Yeah.
Especially for floor 7. Floor 7 kicked my tail by about 5 seconds.
I was in the exact same boat that you were in, where I did it and I got A rank by like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to come back later because I don't want to try this again.
Yeah. It was like the last thing before I went to bed. It was if you see the second miasma phase, you have missed it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That was the ticket. So you need stunners. I also like if you haven't done the current Deadly Assault, I wanted to bring it up because the new boss, who we'll talk about during the story, but we'll call new boss for now in case you're listening and haven't played the story yet.
I think what do they call him? Isn't it labeled as like the Thrall? Like, yeah, it's question mark the Thrall, and you're like, I know who that is. Like, it's just their face.
They censored the name, but didn't censor the picture. So you're like, I know that guy.
Which, honestly, imagine if they actually censored properly. And so you go into a fight, and you're literally just fighting, like, a placeholder image. It's just, like, a zero T-pose. Texture, like, T-posing.
It's got no shaders on it, so it's just like this flat gray shape hovering around on top of a lizard.
That would be, as the kids say, mint chalky chip.
I don't even know if that's a thing that kids say or if Brian's making things up right now. No, I'm trying to read his face, and it's inscrutable. They tried to Clark Kent us with this fool by thinking that if they took off his glasses, we wouldn't recognize who he is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have you done the Deadly Assault fight for him yet, though? Because it is tight. I
remember fighting that, like doing it, and I was like, this is one of those bosses where I'm mildly annoyed by the amount of not combat time.
Yes.
In it for something that's going to be used for time trials.
So I feel the same way. What turned him around, I went from despising this fight to I think I really like this fight, but it's a fight that they don't do a good job of explaining what you need to be doing during the fight. One, because you're getting little pop-ups at the top of the screen, and you're also like playing ZZZ.
Yeah, so
like,
you don't have time to read it.
I'm fighting this guy. You have these multiple phases, but they don't explain how the phases work. So just for like the benefit of us and our listeners, I wanted to kind of talk you through like what to expect for that fight, because I went from I don't know what's happening to 3-star clearing it with like 25-30 seconds left by just understanding how the phases work. This is one that you need a stunner. Like you really this is clearly the selling Dialyn boss.
This is the second week that he's been Deadly Assault.
This is the first Deadly Assault for him. But this Deadly Assault ends in 5 days, so it's been out for a little while.
Oh, maybe I did do it then.
You may have.
Oh my god!
It was like Thanksgiving-y, and I couldn't do it.
Oh, okay. If it was, then I did do it, and it was okay. But that's because I just threw Yidhari at it, but that it was one of those where like halfway through, I'm like, oh, I get it now. Anyway, thanks for letting me interject.
No, you're good. Because he has those I hate you. He has those invulnerability phases, but at least for this one, when he's not around, either he's flying around and you're reacting by dodging, and like some of those things can be parried, or you're fighting Sobek, and Sobek cannot be stunned, or anomalied. Full stop. So this is like an anti-anomaly boss.
This is a. I hope you bought Rupture characters, because that's who this fight. They it seems like they are they're leaning towards bosses that are going to be like, you have to bring this comp. You have like the Isolde fight. That's you have to bring a stunner, because the key mechanic with like destroying the sword, it doesn't take anomaly damage, so your anomaly will not break it. You have to bring a normal attacker,
or like somebody who can pump out burst damage. Yeah.
Then you have everyone who's got the shield, so you need like Rupture characters, and then you have other ones who are like, they are super super weak to anomaly.
Oops, anomaly. Yeah.
Which
I like.
Yeah, I kind of like, because it keeps, because there's not going to be a way to balance the different ways of playing all of these without ending up with something like we had, where it was, is there something on screen? Bring Miyabi, because she'll just kill it. Now it's like, Miyabi has her place, but you can't just throw her at everything now.
Yeah, like this Deadly Assault, I'm not using Shifu, because I'm bringing Miyabi to that fight. And previously, like, I wasn't using Miyabi. I like that there's something to do. Like, you have more control than it looks like for this fight. You want to nuke down Sobek as fast as you possibly can, because all the damage the lizard takes, mystery foe with no glasses also takes that damage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice because it gives you a free setup window as well. Like when I cleared it, I was using that to get, even though I wasn't applying stun, I was able to get like charges built up for Dialyn, and I was able to get energy built up for Yidhari, so that when he does show up, the first thing you have to do is like go hard on your stunner. After you kill Sobek the first time, like you need a stun window as soon as possible before he activates his miasma shield nonsense. And then the other part of him that was really tricky was like, you have to land the parries. But if you land the parries, it shreds his shield.
This is like the third boss in the row where it's not parries are optional. Because you had Isolde. The Hunter, it kind of is optional, like if you flubbed it, but that one's more of like they give you a layup into an easy parry, because they're like, when you find Lucia, you'll get a free parry, and you do a bunch. And now this is another one where it's like, if you don't parry the correct attack, you're missing a major mechanic and you're gonna struggle.
Yes. And like there's 2 rounds of parries, and they've even made it more incentivized because the second round of parries doesn't use up charges to make those parries. Like the first 3 does use up your defensive assist. The next like 3 or 4 that come out, they're free as long as you hit them. So like when I figured that out, it became a lot more of a fun fight, because when he is susceptible to damage, oh boy, is he's susceptible to damage.
Yeah, he definitely is. That is like a very much a break his guard, and then you just pummel him.
I went from just getting 2 stars to all 3 stars during 1 stun window, because of how much extra damage he was taking to just set up that window.
Yeah.
That's a rough explanation. If it's something that you're like struggling with, it's a lot easier with Dialyn, but you don't have to have Dialyn. What it does require, though, is a stunner who can dump all their stuns at once. So actually, like, Qingyi would be better here than, say, Trigger. Because Trigger would be applying stuns consistently, but if she's applying those stuns during the lizard part, that's wasted potential.
Yeah.
Right? So you want someone who can come in there like a Qingyi or a Dialyn or maybe even Lycone, who can dump a lot of stun all at once. Other events going on, Brian, have you done any of the robot fighting?
Oh, man. The part where Mega Man shows up and he says, I'm going to Donkey Kong you. No, I haven't done.
Yeah.
I've been busy. I haven't done any of the events. Okay. I've been slacking.
Robot fights fun. I won't talk into it. We'll talk about it more next episode probably, because the nice thing, especially for you and me, was that like all of the events this patch, despite premiering at different times, they all go until the end of the patch.
Yeah.
So like you still have 20 days for that.
I really liked it, and that's why I've put them off, is because I'm like, oh, I have time when I have a day where I can just like sit down and knock it all out at once. God forbid, as long as it's not the cinema event where I was like pulling my hair out like, oh, I'm so bored.
Well, chess, I if possible, I wouldn't save it for last stages because those rounds can take a little bit longer. Yeah. If you're playing the single player, you can skip the fighting part and just like skip to the results. But there is a title hidden behind getting to ethereal rank, which requires playing against other human beings. And those games, because there's other people involved, naturally take a little bit longer. So I can imagine getting very frustrated with it if I was trying to rush it. But doing a little bit every now and then is very easy. And you don't have to do single player to do multiplayer. So like you can skip straight to that if that's something you wanted to work on.
Why would I want to play multiplayer battle chess?
There's a title. I wanted the title. And I really like chess. I love auto chess so much. I played so much of it. And then the other event going on, in case you haven't done it yet, folks, is the light stream notes. You get to go back and revisit old mini games with
that's cool.
Zhao Guang.
Didn't just a new event just drop like today also? Like I think there's now like 4 events going on.
Yes. I have not touched it yet. But there is another event going on today called Simulated Sequenced Showdown. So I can't tell you anything about it, folks, but I'm sure it's fun. Go play battle chess.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting, because normally they would do the traditional like staggered release and they're around for 2 weeks each, and now it's just we're just gonna release them all and you can play them during the patch.
You can either save them all up or go ahead and get them out of the way. I really like them. I mean, the nice thing is like the Zhao Guang one will not take you very long. And you do flower arranging, and then you do a movie sequence with her, and then like,
which I hope they
really
keep
cute.
that up, because I like the staggering their release, but still having you be able to have the whole patch to do it, so you're not like, oh shoot, I had something going on in my life and I couldn't play for 4 days, and now I've missed like an entire event or half an event.
Panic rushing to get through it at the very end.
Yeah.
That being said, I know some of our listeners are procrastinators. If you save all of these events for the very last day they're available.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that to you. You're not going to want to do 5 events for a day. Like,
not unless you literally
some level of like staggering.
that would be one of those days you're like, all right, I got a 6-pack of beer. I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to play these games. And I'm just going to chill for the entire day and do nothing productive.
I'm going to call into work. I'm going to call into girlfriend, tell them both that I'm out of the state, and I'm just going to play Zenless. And also probably not have a lot of fun, because the events are great, but that's too much, y'all. Stagger it some. Start it now. Do a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to make it so you're annoyed playing this game. That's the point where I start dropping gotchas, is when it starts feeling more like a job and less like something fun to do.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you haven't played the most recent story, do that now and not listen to what we're about to talk about, because we are going to dive into the story for version 2.4, Brother Problems. That's the name of the story, right? It's brother problems.
That or Syscon.
Syscon. It's oops, death robot, but also I can hear dead people.
We kind of called it, but also it wasn't exactly the most out of nowhere story beat possible.
But there were parts that I was surprised by.
There were. There was a couple parts in my notes where I'm like, fell for it.
Let's do it.
Pulled a sneaky on me.
Okay, so opens back up. We know that Ye Shiyuan, we're going to call him Ye Brother for a while here. Ye Brother is deeply concerned about the Qingming sword eating his sister's brains. Brains, eating his sister. And he has been told by Sarah that the creator, and thus Sarah, can fix it.
By corrupting him.
Yeah, by giving him a Shadow the Hedgehog transformation.
I'm going to be honest, I kind of liked it. Like, normally, like, when they're doing this trope, like, it's, like, they trick them. She's just straight up like, look, brother, let the creator in. He gonna change you.
Yeah.
But it'll be and then, like, he does change.
Like, physically changes. And, like, they kept hinting about his, like, dark past and stuff. And, like, they kind of flesh it out, but they kind of don't.
They left a huge... I think for me, I'm like, the whole time I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you know, obviously something, you know, something's going on. But they're just like, oh, yeah, that darkness you hide inside yourself. And I'm like, oh, that's not a metaphor. It's literal. He's actually got a darkness that he's hiding inside of himself.
It's actual darkness. He's being a big, moody, broody boy and hanging out with Sarah. Meanwhile, Ye Shengguang is a complete scam. She's so...
What I loved is the fact that I'm assuming the auto chess story like goes along with it, but I love the fact that Bu Lion comes back for auto battler chess at the same time he like actually comes back in the story and like comes down off the mountain.
Yeah, and is there to like argue with Belian about like if they should be there or not. Like the whole like reclusive person who's been like kept in captivity escapes and sees the real world is not a new thing. But I appreciated the balance they're doing between her being like excited to be in the rest of the world and it not being an overabundance of naivety, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's not like, oh, wow, is this what candy tastes like? This is amazing. She's like, oh, yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Let's go do that.
Hers is definitely she knows, like, she was in the real world and she's in seclusion now. So, like, she enjoys when she gets to come out and, like, mess around and do stuff that she's not allowed to do.
And we also call her Zhao Guang.
Yeah, I do like it.
Which
I do like it. She's just because I love the fact that, and I wrote this initially because early on she's like, "Don't tell anyone I'm Shunwang, the like high level wielder of the Qingming sword." And we're like, okay. They're like, call us Zhao Guang, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, whatever. We'll just. And then I was like, why are other people at the temple have no idea who she is?
Yeah, they have no clue.
Which I wrote down later, and we can come to it when we get to another part. But I was just like, I was like, is this a thing? Or is this like just bad writing?
Well, I mean, props to one of our Discord users, Kumisaki, who told me that the Zhao means little. So like translated, Ye Shun Guang is going by Little Guang. So like it's really not subtle. But I get like it I think it's also like the people who would recognize her are people who are high up in the temple. And all of the high ups have been elsewhere for 2 patches now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I'm like would they? I guess that part they didn't make clear as to like how, because they haven't actually like put hard numbers on it. It's like, has she been gone away for like 10, 15 years to the point where there's only a handful who actually know about her other than just by name? Or because I wrote down, I was like, and because I wrote it down later when she makes a reference, but I'm like, or is this a side effect of the actual Qingming sword? Yeah,
or like. It's just like not sticking.
Well, because like at a later point, like she asks people multiple times if they remember her. And so, because I know they talk about like how the sword eats her memories, and I'm like, oh,
Yes.
does it just eat all memories related? Like, I was like, is this
That would
something
be
that's
cool.
literally like erasing her from existence? Is that why she is like able to pull this off? Not because, you know, they're just having a fun gag, but because like she's actually like disappearing from other people's minds too.
I don't know, man.
Spoilers, like they don't clarify that. And I think I read too much into it, and I think it might just be like hand-waving story writing to progress the plot.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help that we find out that a mysterious tall man in black has been walking around asking questions in a place where people would absolutely recognize Ye Shiyuan, but he took off his glasses and changed his hair.
I was gonna say,
so
that
now
one
no one knows who he is.
I enjoy because like when they get the description from someone, they describe it and they're like, oh, that's not him, because that's not what he looks like. So like that one makes more sense, because at least from someone who, and I think there's also like it's like the common video game thing where you just have to imagine the area you're in is far more populated than it actually is in the game. Because in the game, it's like an apartment block. There's like maybe 100 people in the entire city. And I think it's implied that it's a major city. So like it'd be easier for people to go unnoticed.
I think it's also, and we're belaboring this, but I think it's also, I've known people that I knew for a good chunk of my life, but didn't see for like 3 to 5 years, and they grew a beard or grew their hair out or just started wearing different colored shirts. And like, I would see them, and part of my brain is like, I know exactly who that is. We used to go to school together. But a louder, more vocal part of my brain is like, yeah, but what if it's not? Pretend you don't know them. Like, don't expose yourself. So I wonder if it's just like, people are like, is that? Nah, it can't be. It doesn't matter. She said she's someone different, and I'm prepared to accept that than try to remember who this person actually is. But let's talk about what's the problem here.
Oh, I wrote it down. I wrote it down.
Okay. Yeah, usually better at like the actual plot points than I am.
Old Zhao, who I put in notes, looks exactly like a regular Zhao because he does not look old at all.
Yeah.
Says
illusion of old.
He needs help at a mining camp, which is coincidentally where Yeezy was. And they have to save Porcelumex's staff, because you're not going to believe it, but Porcelumex has put their staff at risk for profit, which is not something they would have ever done before.
What a new... I did like the frequent reminders in this chapter that, like, even though we've got some people from Topps that are helping us, Topps is not a good organization. Just don't forget. I know we've done some, like, whitewashing of Top stuff in the past couple of arcs. Top still do bad things.
I don't even know if they've really done whitewashing so much as they've just made them not comic book evil.
Not comic book evil.
They've made it clear that most of these people like just are they're doing what they need to do to progress to the next step, and that's usually just getting and they're like, whatever, most people don't care, or you know, as long it's kind of the like, you crank it up to 11 of like, what would happen if you were able to maximize profits and always just write off people's deaths as the accident of the environment, because the hollows regularly kill people. The
environment's hellish.
So you're just like, people are expected to die in this world. And I think that's another thing that like you can sometimes forget, because we're the heroes of the story and we save people. People are expected to die doing their job.
This is high risk. But
so we go into the hollow, and when we get in there, the first thing that happens is Zhao Guang sees some white flowers that eat miasma, and she's like, I see those, but I don't remember where. Yeah. And they'll clearly never show up again in the story.
Of course not. Not going to be a plot point.
And then I wrote immediately, because then the very next thing is where we start being able to run around with her. And I'm like, oh, she has a floating coffin of death.
She has a giant floating sword coffin. It's so cool.
It is awesome.
So
and it's like, I've seen the trailers and the like animation stuff. I'm like, she's going to open up that coffin and it's just going to shoot swords like a Gatling gun.
It's going to be an infinite number of swords. I loved seeing her running around. Not long after we start seeing, I wrote she looks dang cool though, cool sword sheath, but we don't play as her, which is important. We haven't been able to put hands on her. They did a really cool thing, and it shows up.
Yeah, they added the new mechanic.
I love this because like what happens next is we see one of the Porcelain Mechs guys. He's being attacked. We get a really good cutscene by the Queen Troll herself, where Dialyn comes conveniently prancing in and just like executes these fools.
She's working part-time as the as the TOPS cross-department customer complaint specialist.
It's unhinged. Every time she shows up, I wrote down multiple times in my notes, I don't know if I'm relieved or worried when Dialyn is part of the conversation. Because sometimes it's pretty much both.
I will say by the end of the story, I had a completely different opinion of Dialyn.
Yes. They did a really good job of exploring that part of her character development.
Yeah. And so I was honestly, I'm like, I cannot tell if this is an actual thing or if this is like her cover story for how she is able to just go from TOPS department to the department.
She's got like 3 cover stories, and whichever one needs to be true is the one that's true. But I liked what I think you were hinting at it earlier. We don't control Zhao Guang, but we do have a button that you can push. That's the it was the circle button on PlayStation, where with a cooldown she can jump in and blast things with swords, then dash out again.
Yeah,
and it was a cool way of making us see, hey, when you hit that button, things died. Like when she hit the thing stopped being there. But it also meant that we could play as a stunner without the Lycone situation from version 1 point whatever.
Yeah.
Where you're doing DPS stuff as a stunner.
You also have the character that you're going around with actually be present. There's a story reason, like they're there story-wise and now mechanically present instead of the like, oh, we're running around as a team of 3, one of us is fighting.
Yeah, and then people just show up. I really liked that adjustment. I hope we see that continue.
Yeah. They also introduced on-screen tutorials. They had like one of the old-fashioned pop-ups, and then they start doing the on-screen tutorials, which, like you said, I'm mixed on.
Yeah,
because it's hard to read them while you're actually trying to fight and apply them.
Yeah,
but also just reading these tutorials where half the time were useless too, because you're like, okay, but I need to try them out. So I don't think there's a perfect way.
Yeah.
This is probably the best way that they're going to be able to do it in the story without like slowing things down. You just...
Yeah. What I wanted was the on-screen tutorials, but if I hit the pause menu, don't show me my normal wallpaper. Show me the pause menu from like doing Shiyu defense or something, where I can look at the character's full kit. Because
which they still have.
They did not during the story though, because I kept
they did
pausing
at least at one point.
Okay,
because I remember I paused while we could play as Banyue, and I was like, "What does his kit do?" And I like scrolled through, and I'm like, "I can't be bothered to learn this, man. I'm skipping this."
I must have missed it because I kept pausing with Banyue and being like, "Let me see what his toolkit is. I don't know how to use it."
I've noticed because this is something I've looked at before. It's like it's not every time. There's like 1 or 2 times when you're playing them that you'll be able to see it, and they never indicate when that time is.
I need them to lock that in because we're gonna get to Banyue in a second. I did a lot of playing with him. I have no idea how to play Banyue whatsoever. Dialyn, I get for the most part. I think I get.
Dialyn's simple.
No clue on Banyue.
But anyway, we're getting way off track.
Let's keep going. So, there's an ancient array. That's the big thing.
Yeah, Dialyn threatens an exaltist, which I enjoyed because I liked where like you had Zhao Guang and Bell were gonna like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then Dialyn just took it up because they were like, we're gonna break your fingers if you don't talk, and Dialyn's like, you know, the military's hunting people like you, and they really like torturing people. So if you don't tell us we're going to turn you over to the military and they're just going to have fun with you. And then no one cares what happens.
She's like, leave it to a professional. This is how you actually extort information out of somebody.
Yeah. I also he
uh,
also reveals that Sarah is able to turn sacrifices back to normal.
I wrote this down too,
or at least that's what he said. Because from his side is she is turning them back to normal, and I've got it because it reappears later. But I thought that was interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, like she has this is legitimate power. She is wielding the creator to some effect.
Yeah, like so. Conflating the things that happen, we learn that she's reverting sacrifices, and we later learn that the people she's reverted as sacrifices essentially become like human again, but they're shambling husks. Like
they're just mindless husks stripped of everything.
But what I wrote down is, through the power of the creator, Sarah can clear corruption. In a previous chapter, we used the power of our special eyes to clear Vivian's corruption. There's a direct parallel between what Phaethon can do with their special eyes and this like curing people by clearing their corruption piece.
Yeah.
So I'm more interested now in like, if at all, our knowing that we know about our mentor, that she was working with the Exaltists, is the creator in some way, shape, or form tied to our powers.
Yeah.
You know? So we get that little bit, and then there's a minecart puzzle.
Oh yeah, we have a minecart puzzle where there's only one solution because there's only one option.
There's not a puzzle.
I'm always annoyed when they have these puzzles that aren't puzzles. I'm like, either commit to the bit, and even if it's a simple puzzle, like let us do it.
Let me do it.
Or or don't.
Yeah, don't. It becomes a time suck. It wasn't too bad because it only happens like twice, but like, let me do the puzzle and then ask for help if you already have NPCs with us. So like, let me walk up and ask someone like, hey, I don't want to do this if I want to skip the puzzle or do it faster. I did write down that with the addition of minecart puzzles, we're one Sokoban puzzle away from this just being a true JRPG experience. We're one warehouse of blocks to push around before we're just a Tales of game.
Yeah.
At this point. Like we've done the gamut now.
So we do the not puzzle, and we rescue Banyue's disciple, and I wrote down Dialyn always be selling, because he's like, how could I possibly thank you? And she said, give me a 5-star review.
She's on that grind, man. I also wrote down that Dialyn to me feels like someone on the Hoyo writing team once worked in customer service, and they have a lot of baggage they need to unpack. Like, and Dialyn is just their chance to unpack some of that baggage.
And that's right. I was like, I just wrote down Sneaky's Zhao, and I was trying to remember why. And then I remembered that, like, she was just standing on a rocky outcropping watching this entire thing happen. And and I was like, what
is she doing?
I was like, okay.
Banyue is cool, dude. Like, the dude is nothing but aura.
Wait.
Did I skip something?
You skipped over the first time Dialyn has her vision of the dead.
Oh yeah. I didn't write that down at all because I was too excited to write about Banyue. So like, she has visions.
Yeah, where she can hear the people who died in the hollow.
And it's a little bit. I mean, we have this whole 2.x series has been like about memory and about like recalling the past.
Yeah.
So now she can hear the dying words of people in the hollow.
Yeah, you have Yidhari who can see memories in the hollow. You have Dialyn who hears the dead in the hollow.
Yep. You've got Banyue who is being haunted by his own ghosts from the hollow. Like, all of it is his memory and what's happening. And they didn't do, like, when it first happened, I was like, okay, that was a weird thing to just drop in about Dialyn. And they do it really well later. But I was just like, I had no idea that in addition to being like a snarky customer service agent who also works for Tops, she also has premonitions of the dead, like she's in Deadly Premonition.
Which, I mean, to a certain extent makes sense. Because it seems kind of like part of what Krampus does is they recruit people who have these powers that help them investigate. Because, like, who better to investigate the wrongdoings of corporations in hollows than someone who can literally hear people's dying words in the hollow?
Who can prove that what you're saying is, in fact, very wrong.
Or maybe not be able to prove it, but they've been shown to be correct enough that they're allowed to act on what they hear.
Yeah. She's always got the right lead. I did write in my notes. I see, she can hear the dying voices of people inside the hollow, comma. That sucks for her. Because that must suck for her.
Then Banyue shows up and he just starts dropping lines. Like my favorite one where he was like, rendering assistance beyond your strength is a second disaster. This man just like...
The dude is so cool. I am so tempted to roll for him just so I can hear him talk more.
Oh yeah, they
oh man,
I believe the kids he aura farmed.
Yes.
Credit card style.
Yeah, I know that one. Okay, know that part. I know the aura part.
That's where you take it to the bank.
He aura farmed like the end of Final Fantasy VIII. Like every time he's in there, he's popping off. I don't know about you because I couldn't figure out how to play him. I felt like I wasn't ever doing damage.
Yeah, there were a couple times where I like accidentally got his combos right. And like when that happened, I'm like, I can see the potential, but he is, just from playing him, he's by far the most complicated character I think they have.
It feels like, and I think some of the complication comes from how obfuscated it is by like not being able to see on screen what the different combos are building towards.
They also like it. They had like 4 or 5 combats where they introduced what he did. So like, you weren't playing him correctly because half the time you either didn't know yet or you had forgotten.
Forgot. Yeah. He wants that meter. Like he's got a meter. He wants, and when that meter's full, you can hold down his special or his attack, and he goes into like hardcore super damage mode.
Yeah, they said it was like an auto mode, but I don't.
Yeah, you just hold skill to chain attacks.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those where I'm like, it felt weird and clunky.
Getting that meter to fill up felt like it took too long. I'm hoping either I was doing something wrong or on release that would be different. And maybe it's one of the things we need to be like parrying more. One of his abilities has a parry like half of Miyabi's kit does, but I don't know which one it was.
Yeah.
So every now and then I would just parry an attack, and the game seemed to like that. I really want to play him more. We'll do a whole episode on him. We have to keep moving. Brian and I were right about the Qingming sword, is what I wrote down in my notes. Once per year, we get to be right about something. We got it here right at the buzzer.
Well, so
you're right about the Qingming sword.
This is where I first wrote, because Zhao Guang asks Banyue if he remembers her. And that's where I was first like, because this is the same part where they said that the sword case was made by Yizhuan to protect against the cost of using it.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, okay, because I was like, it seemed pretty obvious that the cost is that it eats your memories until there's nothing left. But I was like, but is it doing more than that?
Is it like seeping?
Or just like, but so obviously they don't explain it.
They do explain to us that as long as, or she says, I think, as long as we don't break the seal on the case, everything's Gucci. Like, don't even trip. Everything's cool. So of course we're like, well, how long till she breaks the case?
Cursed sword.
Yeah. Which I did want to say, like, just temporarily, Belle is working with someone who is struggling with a cursed sword. If only she had a close friend and confidant who has experience with a cursed sword.
Yeah, but where are you gonna find one of those at this hour?
I don't know, man. Maybe they could give us a hand.
I will say though, at least they're 2 different curses.
Yeah.
Like Miyabi's curse was like, don't fall into the rage of the sword, and this one's like, I'm gonna eat your memories, fam.
Yeah, I am the curse. I'm just gonna eat you. Okay, so we got a lot of setup there. We know we have the town. We know Banyue's there. We know Dialyn can hear dead people. We know, I think at this point we get to see Dialyn talking to Zhao and how like they want.
No, I wrote a whole bunch about this exchange.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Dialyn refers to Zhao as the meat-eating rabbit.
Yes.
And then I wrote, "Run away!" So, and I was like,
nice,
Krampus is literally full of cute-looking cutthroat people.
They are utterly savage. Yeah.
You have Zhao, who's cute and will kill you at a drop of a hat. You have Dialyn, who's cute and zany, and then, like, on the drop of a pin, like, flips 180. She goes from, like, being funny and goofy to, you're like, the funny, goofy thing is entirely, like, a persona.
It's a performance. Yeah.
And then I had
puts people off kilter.
Written in Purge Unit Type 0, because I didn't realize at this point that Banyue wasn't officially part of Krampus.
Okay.
Because he's listed as being members of Krampus in all the promotional stuff.
Because we've known he was going to be Krampus. And this, like, story is him joining Krampus in a sense. But yeah, like they've done a really cool way of building up Krampus as this, like, deceptive organization that will do whatever they need to do to get their job. I also just, like, I love the naming of, like, Judge for Dialyn. Like, it's a really cool title for her.
Yeah. Because it Dialyn's the judge and Xiao's the executioner?
I think so. Yeah.
Which is
what else?
Because they even go on to, they were like, all right, yeah, I guess we'll turn over the guy to the military. And Zhao's like, no, I'm going to kill him because he's a loose end and I don't like those.
Unhinged. Is this also when we learned that Ningqian is a traitor?
Yeah, because I mean,
which we knew.
He was clearly, like, he was one of those. He was like, oh boy, I'm sure glad that you saved me, master. It always brings me joy when you're around me. And I'm like, okay. And then he
had a name. He's not playable. So it's only a matter of time before he turns red.
Also, he's got a stock character model.
Bing pot. So I love for them to get away from that.
Ningjian. He's weird too.
Yeah, he's kind of a weird guy too. He's obsessed with Banyue.
And then the next one is we're back at the temple, and that's where I wrote down, like, it's kind of weird that no one recognizes Yao. And I mean, maybe it is one of those, like, she has been in seclusion so long that most people don't know her. So then we see Evil Yi.
We got Evil Yi running around. He cures his myopic vision, and now he's fixed. He can run around and be edgy.
Yeah.
And do things. But I also read that, like, Sarah's eyes are wild, man.
Oh, I think they did a really good job of, like, it was like, oh, she like, this is, every time she's been mad at, like, people getting the power for not being actual, like, faithful. She's actually a diehard devotee. Because I wrote, she's like, she wants to reshape the world by returning things to their state. And then I even kind of wrote, like, there's this weird, it's almost like a, I mean, obviously, like, yin yang, but also kind of like a inversion of normal things. Like, the sword, which is used to fight evil, consumes its user, and the creator, at least in theory, wants to restore, like, a balance and harmony to the world. Yeah, it's just that his balance and harmony is, his way or the highway.
Yeah, it's like she keeps describing it, and it just sounds like it's against time, even. Like, it is a static, untouchable void that the creator is going to bring about. I was surprised, and I think I like it, but I'm not sure yet. I'm interested to see how they play with it. Where, like, she is full stop cultist, like, drank all the Kool-Aid. This is not a performance for her. I thought, like, Sarah was, like, using the creator for something. No, she is, like, lock, stock, and barrel. I live for the creator.
We finally got what we've been asking for, where, like, they actually explore Sarah and why she is doing all of this. Yeah. And I'm glad that it is she's fully in, like, this is something she's known about, been raised to follow. Like, this wasn't just another means to an end. Like, she is fully, like, use me to further your goal, creator.
And I liked that, like, she wasn't a child when she was, like, indoctrinated. She was an adult. Because she'd been working for Hand when it happened. Yeah. So, like, this isn't one of the things you can be like, well, she just doesn't know better. she knew what the world was. Like, she made that decision. She didn't have a lot of choices, but she made that decision, and like she is deep in.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. I do wonder if Sarah makes it into version 3.0.
Well, I mean,
you know,
did she?
I don't know.
Did she really make it past this version?
Listen, she's fine. Everything's fine.
Then we get a scene with a mystery boo.
Yeah, there's a mystery boo. I don't know.
I wrote it down, and then I was like, I kept expecting the Bang Boo to show back up, but it never showed back up in the story.
Who was the creator of the Bang Boo? That's not Joyous, but who created the Bang Boo?
I forget.
It feels like that might be hers.
Yeah.
Like, this is a Bang Boo that's clearly been in the hollows for ages. I want to fly through some of these plot points because it's just not worth kind of talking through them. They collect a lot of information to follow the next thing. And I wrote down, like, wow, a lot of this is really convenient that book hoarder kept the book he hoarded. And then they resolved it later. Where they're like, yeah.
Not resolved it later. Yeah. They immediately resolved it when Dialyn.
Yeah.
I was like, I got this. I wrote down, I was like, did Dialyn kill her? Because she was like, what's this? Okay, I handled it. And she was like, yep. And it's like,
there it is.
We don't know how she solved it. And her methods have been clearly shown to be at whatever means necessary.
Yeah. I did also note, is Zhou, because we learn more about character backstories, and like this is around the time when we learn that like both the Yi siblings' parents are dead, right? Is Zhou the last character they released who could actually hug both their parents? Get in the Discord and tell me if I'm wrong. But I think, at least for S ranks, she might be the last character. I think Seth still has his parents.
But he's A rank.
And he's A rank. And Ben still has his parents. Ben's A rank.
He also was out on release. You're going backwards.
Yeah, I'm going backwards. I'm just saying.
Bernice has never discussed having a family, has she?
I don't think Bernice has a family. I think
she might have killed them.
We can't sit on this, Brian, but I just want you to think about it. Tell me in the Discord, is Zhou the last character who could actually talk to their parents?
But yeah, so then, they find out that, like, Zhao Guang's parents were at the old mining site where all of this is happening. And then they start really heavily indicating that Banyue, at first they were like, did Banyue kill her parents?
Yeah.
You were like,
and they're like, Banyue killed her parents.
Because this whole time they've talked about how he was a Purge Type 0, and they were created to stop the miasma spread however possible. And that usually was in the form of, I think I even wrote it down at some point where, like, the way to stop purge or miasma spread is through exterminatus. If you just kill everyone, then the miasma has nowhere to go.
I wrote down to ask you, like, did they ever establish that before this chapter, that, like, killing people in the hollow would prevent miasma?
No, I don't think it's ever been a thing.
Okay.
That feels very much of like a, hey, we don't know how to stop it, so we'll start at murder and back off from there.
We'll see if that fixes it, then we'll move on.
But then what was it? Oh, that's right. Then we first go back to the mining area to try to get some information. And this is where Dialyn really just starts, like, twisting the knife into Banyue about, like, everything he's done.
It was so good. Like, she just, like, lays it on thick about, like, knowing what he did and what did he do.
Yeah. And this is where you realize that Banyue fully knows what he did too. Like, because before it's been like, how much does he remember? Like, is he also, and it's like, no, he's fully bearing the weight of his sins.
Yes. And like, I thought that was really cool. They did a really good job with Banyue's character about, like, him, like, the whole like old school samurai film, the evil Ronin, like, decides to turn his life around and tries to do good things, but you can't escape his own past thing. Like, they did a good job of, like, playing through that in the microcosm of the story without it being the entire story.
Yeah.
And it made, like, just Banyue just kept being more, like, of an endearing character. Because He knows. Like, I don't think there's a time in the story he doesn't know how people feel about him and what he's planning on doing.
Yeah, because he, like you said, he's got that typical. He's like, they have every right to be mad at me, and I don't know how to make things better, so I'm just living.
Just gonna sacrifice.
But then we have the flashback to Dialyn when she was in the Hollow too, or nearby when the Hollow expansion happened, and she has her Auntie Fong, who like this medium came to this village and said, if you sacrifice one person, then you can stop the Hollow expansion. And it was this weird thing because I'm like, ooh, was this another Exaltus thing? Because they don't clearly say it, but it seems like there's some. And then they throw Dialyn into the Hollow, and I guess she like falls through time because by the time she wakes up in the Hollow, everyone's been eaten, and now she gets to hear the voices of the dying.
And she's got special powers. This is one of those times where, like, I'm glad they didn't explain it, because it would have just become gibberish. Like, this thing happened, she was in there, now she can hear dead people.
Yeah.
Back at 9.
Then I have...
let's keep going.
Ning is bad. Who would have guessed?
Who would have thought? Man, I said, he really hates Banyue, doesn't he? I did think, like, hearing the voices in Banyue and Dialyn's heads was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, hearing the voice of the creator, like, or what that we're supposed to think is the voice of the creator, like, whispering to them was a really neat touch. This is where I started to think that, like, I like how the most recent stories are tied into the new characters being released, but I'm starting to miss VHS stories a little bit. Like, I think Banyue, everything was really, like, clean for him throughout this narrative. I feel like there were some other things they could tell the story about with Dialyn through one of those VHS tapes, so they wouldn't have to, like, quickly explain so many things.
They're not done with the VHS tapes.
I hope they come back more.
Well, I mean, because, like...
we got triggers. Not trigger, but ANB Type 0.
Yeah, we had ANB Type 0. Lucia's was counted as a VHS. They've just done a better job of making it easier to access, so it doesn't you only realize that they're considered a VHS memory when you like get to a breakpoint and you're dropped inside.
That's fair. Dropped into it.
What's the name of their dang movie shop? It's been so long since we've actually been there.
Random Play.
That's it. Random Play. But anyway, so then
okay.
But so that's why I was like, I wonder if if like Banyue will get a character story after he's released.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it'll be
Although I don't know if he needs one now because it's kind of been explained enough that unless it's either that or it's going to be like the Bernice one where it's like, here's just a wacky adventure that he went on as Banyue.
Well, I think that would be valuable at this point too, because like everything has been really like tied into this main narrative.
I don't know if Banyue is able to be wacky.
I would love to see him being the straight man as everyone's wacky around him. We are so off topic. I did like at one point you talked to Bolian, and his like theory for helping Zhao Guang was to help her live a life that's so rich the sword can't drink all of her memories. So like that was like one of the takeaways from what he was trying to do. For like he wants her to like experience so many things that the sword essentially like fills up.
Yeah.
And which explains why like she's trying to do so many things and like she wants to experience so much of life. And then that is directly followed by Yishuan from off screen being like, you guys go do this. Zhao Guang, don't leave the temple. And I'm like, please don't cage the bird. You know how that works. She came down from a mountain. She's not going to stay here. What are you doing?
But I also like that she didn't fight it.
Yeah.
Like she normally this is the part in the story where like they say, please don't leave here. Like, we'll do it. We're capable. And she says, okay.
Yeah.
And like, because normally in the story, that's where she says, okay, and then sneaks out and then causes people to die, which I always hate because you're like, oh, look, if you had just not caused people to die. But anyway, we're skipping over some stuff.
That's cool.
Because they talk more about Sarah and how she fell into the the creator, was because she was part of a secret HSI branch. And I like, because at one point someone was even like, oh, they were like, that's kind of the secret government task force that is expected to die on their mission, whatever. Mm-hmm. So like she was abandoned. So because they go into like she was an orphan, and then every time she has tried to find something to believe in, she has been abandoned and left. And so she finally found something in the creator. And that's why she takes it so seriously when people who don't really care and just want to use the creator's power get his power. Because she's like, no, I want to die for the creator. I don't want the creator to die for me.
Yes. Like, it was what we've been waiting for. We finally got some of that like fleshed out. Did you notice in the comic scene where we saw her like abandoned in the hollow, her whole team was dead, she's trapped underneath rocks. We see the silhouette of a figure appear and then disappear again. Like we see their shadow. We don't see them. They don't see her. Did you notice that shadow looks a whole lot like one of the silhouettes from the people in that video that came out before ZZZ launched about like the important Void Hunters from history?
No, I didn't.
He looks like the big armored suit with the sword on their shoulder.
Okay.
That like pushed the wall back however much they said he pushed back.
Yeah.
This is vague theory, but it feels like that silhouette was too distinct for it to not be something.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So whether it's that guy or not, that silhouette's coming back, I think. Someone tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Man. Yeah, so we got Sarah's backstory. We get like the pre-Act 3 lull where people are off exploring. So Zhao Guang wants to experience just like she wants to do a dinner for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. She gets a new outfit. She gets new threads. What did you think of Zhao Guang's civvies?
I liked them.
I like them. I think it's a lot like the some of the previous skins where I like her normal outfit more.
Honestly, we spend so little actual time in that outfit. I don't remember much of it.
When you do the event for her, the Memories story event, she's in that outfit.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see it a lot more. It's very nice, and I love that people like it. But like her normal outfit, she's got legs for days. So like, I'm glad that I don't have to worry about rolling for another skin. That's gonna be nice. I assume that's gonna be a skin. If it's not, I would be shocked.
That or it'll be a free skin. Although we just got a free skin, so probably not.
Have they done? And they don't do free skins for S ranks. So far, they haven't.
Vivian.
Brian, hush. I don't want to hear it. Don't prove me wrong.
I mean, that one wasn't free. That one was just...
It wasn't free. Yeah, it took some work. They collect all the things. I liked hearing the storyteller gassing up Yishuan and Xiao Guang.
Yeah.
Like, while she's, like, standing in front of him. And then we get this, like... is this when we have the actual, like, meal? Where they're all eating together?
Yeah, which...
Yeah.
I like before, like, the actual dinner, Dialyn just, like, fully on the table just confronts Banyue about what happened. Like, not even the casual, like, she's just straight up like, you killed everyone in that mining town by doing nothing.
Yeah. I think it's her. It's somebody in that scene delivers a line that reads, the hardest part isn't making a choice. It's living with it afterwards. And, like, that's solid, man. Like, that's legit. And but that kind of summarizes their whole situation.
I also really like that Dialyn, through all of this, hasn't been, like, I thought she was going to be like, I'm just out to kill him. Like Ning Jian is. Yeah. But she has been like, this whole time, she's like, I'm out to find out the truth of what actually happened. Yeah. And she's like, I'm withholding judgment until I've gotten all the evidence.
She's a good judge.
She's being an actual judge.
Yeah, she's like, I have my ideas, but I'm going to try this, and we're going to figure this out. Then I'll weigh everything.
Yeah. And then I was like, and then we have a party where half the people hate each other.
Yeah, no one likes each other. I wrote down that they must have hired someone who grew up reading Redwall, because the food descriptions throughout this whole sequence are like another level. Shout out to all my Redwall fans out there.
Heck yeah. Burai.
What's up? I really liked this whole sequence because it's also very obvious that like Zhao Guang is going to do something.
Yeah.
Like she's made, I think somebody even says like she's made up her mind, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
And then we also get this great line that's no matter how harsh the truth, it's still better than drowning in a sweet, comforting lie. Which is just a good line.
Yeah.
As well.
No, they had some bars in this one.
It was worth playing it without all the voice lines.
Yeah,
to like experience everything.
I know that this is a bit off topic, but I'm still so curious as to like what the changes are. Because when I first heard there were missing voice lines, I assumed it would be like whole chunks, but it was like it was like sentences here or there. Yeah. So I'm like, what changed in like the sentences that they had to rewrite them?
Well, I think it's also a matter of like if it was only one change, and we've seen it before, if like it's only one change and one word is different, they'll just use the recorded voice line.
Yeah.
But if you're already dropping voice lines because you had to change a couple of big ones, then a lot of those lines were probably there's only like either it was added in to add more context or they just changed a little bit of the voice line, but they took the whole file out because it wasn't gonna.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder sometimes maybe if that is just like there was a mistranslation. And because it was like the same thing kept getting mistranslated and like they just had to rewrite all of those. And then they were like, we don't have time to, because they're like, we can't use the audio because like it's changing things from like, oh, that man climbed a mountain to that man swam in the ocean. And you're like, okay, those are two such very different things that if we keep repeating it, it's just going to be confusing.
It's not going to read right. And it's just like, for those who don't know, like it's just, they get voice lines like those are sent to voice actors way far ahead of the patch actually coming out. And so like any kind of rewrites, like they just don't have time to get the new files. They'll do it eventually, but that's why. Let's enter the climax here.
So then the party ends and then I wrote, luckily the disciples weren't able to guard the mining camp. So now Zhao and Belle have to go and do it. And then Banyue's then they wake up and they're like, oh, Banyue already ran off to sacrifice himself because he knows that the array is a death trap where you need a strong form of ether concentration, kind of like the life core of a android, in order to trap the miasma.
And there was a letter. There was a fake letter.
Oh,
Yi Shiyuan, sister thinks she's getting a letter from her brother, but it's obviously not him that wrote it.
Yeah, I do like where she like looks at it and she was like, I can clearly tell this wasn't written by him.
What a nice way of subverting some of those tropes that we see in like RPG writing where people are like, oh, a letter must be him. And you're like, no, man, it wasn't. And instead it fed into this idea that like Sarah's been planning everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was about this point that I wrote in my notes, I'm like, oh, Sarah's plan was never for Banyue or Yi Shiyuan. It's for Zhao Guang. Like, that's what Sarah wants. And she's got all these pieces moving because she wants Zhao Guang, because Zhao Guang has got the Qingming sword and is the weak link in this whole, like, opposition to her.
Yeah.
It's Sarah's scheming, man. Sarah, like, some of it felt a little contrived, but, like, it's
contrived in the way that any anime plot is going to be. Like in real life, you can't have such these big, long-running, massive. Like at some point, it would break down. It only works if you suspend disbelief, but like they make it reasonable. It's not like no one would fall for this level stuff. It's like it's plausible enough in a fantasy world,
and like everyone involved in the story is feeling the same way we are. We're like, wow, that's convenient, but we don't have any other options. So like, let's just embrace the convenience, because otherwise, without this book, we would have never been able to move forwards.
Yeah.
So like, all of that was really cool setup for her. They split the party and nothing bad happens, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, split the party, nothing bad happens. I do like the point where like, as we're going through to we got to break the pillars to shake the foundation of the array or something. No one cares, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We free Yizhuan's bird. And they're like, that bird was leaving here.
Yeah.
And because this isn't the first time we've seen hints like, oh, they're like, maybe he's not actually as corrupt and seduced as we and Sarah think. Like,
yeah, like this whole, they keep saying it, but I love them like being like, Yisha Yuan really wouldn't do this. Like, this isn't a matter of like, oh, he just gone evil. Like, this isn't him. And this wouldn't have been him from beat 1.
Yeah.
And so like, so we're over here going like, well, there's some problems here. Just by having the bird be trapped really did solve a lot of those narrative inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Of like, he's been trying, like, I promise he's been trying to get word out, and the bird got trapped because Sarah / the creator are onto this.
Yeah.
Because she obviously never fully trusted him anyways. Like, why would she?
But so then we get to it, and Banyue is fighting the ethereals. He's about to die. Ningjian's like, we'll die together, and Banyue's like, no. He's like,
nah, dude.
he was like, I know that, like, I'm the reason your parents are dead, and he's like, I've known the whole time.
Yeah,
he was like, this is part of my burden as failing is, and then Ying's like, no, like, and then we have this really cool moment where Dialyn lets Banyue hear the voices of the dead, and it turns out that they were like, yeah, and I like that they mentioned, like, back then he still wasn't a fully sentient AI. He was still running off like programs, and so he's like, he did the calculations. He couldn't save everyone, so he saved those with the highest likelihood of being able to survive this event.
Yeah.
And then and I like the point because it says, I was like, Dialyn shows sympathy, which she referenced the first time they were in the village, where she says, I don't waste my sympathy on the living.
Oh.
So I was
yeah. Okay.
So yes, she's like, normally she doesn't care about the living. She's like, the living have to live with whatever they've done. I'm not feeling sorry for them. But she's like, I feel sorry for you, because she doesn't fully say it, but she's like, you weren't really alive. You were still a robot at the time that this happened.
There's the whole like discussion about the forbidden apple test.
Yeah.
Which I Googled. It is a completely invented by Hoyo ZZZ thing.
Yeah.
Is the forbidden apple test. And so I thought at first that's really cool world building, that it felt real enough that I could Google it. But also, like, I was trying to figure out what it means. And to me, it feels like the forbidden apple test is the test about whether or not a automaton can express essentially sentience by explicitly going against, by like having the ability to against the explicit requirements put upon it. Yeah. It's the free will test to do what's not optimal, right? Like, to choose to do the suboptimal, to choose to do something that's against your, like, not just against your programming, but like is that's what I kind of like came up with, is the forbidden apple test of like the free will piece there.
Yeah. And I the thing I like about it is because it's clearly a reference to like the Garden of Eden and like eating from but like it's removed enough that it's not actually tied to a religion, so it doesn't make a religion canon. So it's like it's a really nice piece of like, it's familiar enough that we can immediately be like, oh, obviously it means this AI has woken up enough to like have free will and knowledge and everything.
Choose sin.
But like, is it just so like, this is the Garden of Eden robot test?
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, that's
going
kind of
so late.
That is kind of where I'm at too, is like, it's clearly like some test where it shows that an AI, in some sci-fi, it's like unshackled. What it is no longer bound exclusively by its programming.
I hope it comes back in a later thing, even just like as a nod.
I wrote down like the resolution with Banyue and everything. I like what they're doing with the creator as an evil entity, where they're like, the creator's the easy path, where it's like the creator takes your pain away from you, whereas the hard part is living with the pain of what you've done before.
Absolutely. And like that's been repeated multiple times. Like Dialyn herself is like, it doesn't, like, you have to live with it, man. And like that's the whole human existence or the
which I think that's
human
kind
analog
of what
existence.
Dialyn was looking for.
Yeah.
Would he take responsibility, or was he going to take the easy way out of just being like,
just eat it?
Yeah, he's like, but no, yeah, she's like, he came out and he was like, I screwed up, and if the last thing I can do is save this man who wants me to die, then that's my final act. But he doesn't die, and even though while they're describing it, they're like, oh my god, he's almost dead. Immediately fine.
He's good. It's cool. He's fine. They wrap that up. She's like, I'm not gonna take your core. I was going to, but I'm not gonna do it.
Then I like the part where Sarah just shows up. She just literally shows up. She just there. Walks up and she was like, "What's up? I heard you're looking for me."
Yeah. And then she gets just blasted, dude. Like Sarah gets roasted. But she doesn't die. And that's important.
Yeah. But yeah, so she shows up and she like lays out her plan and everything. And then Yeezus goes down with her. Yeah. Like they face the creator and everything. And then
it was cool seeing that. It was cool seeing like the creator really cool. Appear.
Yeah, the creator.
Did you notice the creator symbol, that like infinity symbol with like the cross coming out of the top?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, when we do in just a minute here see the Qingming sword and all its glory,
it does the same thing.
The cross guard has an open space where that symbol could fit inside.
Yeah. I was gonna say I did. I was like, ooh, well.
Yeah. I knew you and I would notice the sword stuff.
But so then, right as the creator makes himself apparent and she's like, turn yourself over to the creator. And he was like, tricked you. And then he like Kamehamehas her. And I wrote down, I never doubted him for a minute. But yeah, then she gets shablasted and the creator explodes. And then Sarah gets eaten by the creator. And then Yi gets eaten by a Sarah creator. Because, it's the creator. And whatever this thing is, it's not going to be that easy to defeat. But yeah, I really like that part where it's like Sarah fuses with the creator. And then immediately he gets sucked down into this void and taken over. And I'm like, oh. I was like, she got plans on plans.
She's fully, I think it feels like she had a plan for like if he was sincere, and a plan for if he was trying to play her.
Yeah.
Because that's what she's before she had creator powers, that was her power, right? Was like, I've got 800 plans.
Yeah,
so you're never gonna
she's the schemer villain, and those are always much more fun than a lot of these.
Bringer. I did notice that we do the fight with Ye Shiyuan, the thrall.
Yeah.
Do you recall the name of the lizard that he summons that eats him and then they fight together?
Sobek?
It's Sobek. Do you know who Sobek is in mythology?
Nope.
He is a Greek crocodile god.
Okay.
Ancient Greek god. Egyptian, sorry, not Greek.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I read ancient Greek seeing his name. He's an ancient Egyptian deity. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert on him because I just like checked into it. But like he is a protective deity that also has like attributed to like magic powers for repelling harm or evil influences. So it's interesting that they would name this like crocodile figure after like that's like a entity of protection that is involved. Like it's,
I think that the idea of the creator, the more they go into it, the more it does. Like normally it would be like, this is clearly just a straight up evil being, but it could be like the creator could be almost like if it's like an actual like god level being, its idea of our existence could be so removed, but like it could be like it's convinced that like it's like, oh, I've watched people. The best way to help people is by not letting them have free will, because whenever they have free will, they do bad stuff. So like maybe the creator is, not an evil force, but not a good force from our perspective.
Yeah. I wonder how much we'll get about it as her, I guess, because we haven't heard her voice. Because of course she is. So like I think that'll be interesting. I think the thing we talked at the beginning of the episode today that like there were some things we expected. There were some things that surprised me. And I think the biggest surprise for me is at the end of this story, no one is dead.
Yeah.
Sarah's still alive. Yi Shiyuan's not dead. He's fine. He's doing something.
Yeah,
but he's not dead either.
When we talked like the previous episode, you were like, "Oh, it's on the precipice of the abyss." Like that feels ominous, and like someone's going to not make it. But
someone's gonna get the soul.
Everyone's more or less fine.
They're okay. I mean, we say that mostly fine.
Yeah,
there's still
But yeah, so then we have a super cool cutscene where Zhao Guang opens the gates of Babylon and blows this man to heck. And then I'm like, the creator is defeated. They are definitely not coming back.
Dude, okay. So I was playing this. My wife was she was in the living room with me. She was like, I think grading assignments or something that's actually valuable with her time. And like this whole cutscene's going off. And I was like making noises like, oh, dang. Oh, nice. Look at that. Like, most excited, I'm excited. And also, like, to see if my wife would be like, hey, that actually looks pretty cool. She looks up to see Ye Shengwang in the sky with 1,000,000 swords around her, raining down on this fool. And she is like, turns back to her computer and keeps grading. I'm like, how do you not? It's so cool. That's awesome. And she's like, her hair is different. Her outfit looks different. She's got like a form change involved.
I do like the form change because
it's cool.
Is that something that both of them can do?
See, it's
also,
it's a good question
because like hers is white, his is black. Yeah. So again, the yin yang thing.
They're clearly like mirroring each other. I don't know how much of that is Qingming sword power and how much of that is like we are told that those kids could do things, but we're never really told what those kids could do.
Like, I wonder if that is why the Qingming sword picked her over her brother. Because if her brother is the power to channel the darkness and hers is the power to channel the light, like if the Qingming sword might be moderately sentient or like, as well as magical items can be, where it's like it knows that it needs to be with someone who is pure of heart, because if you start eating away at the parts that make a evil person hide the evil, you're gonna have another calamity.
You're gonna have a bad time.
I also like the fact that that was where we got to the whole point. All of this was for Sarah and the creator to try to get the Qingming sword's power.
Yep.
Which makes me think it wanted to use its power on humanity. If you can just eat everyone's memories and everything, you can essentially lock them into, because like that's what she talked about is like ending time and like there's no more of these issues. It's
pain
like
and sickness,
if you
and
kind of what she was doing with the sacrifices, if you drain everything out of people that makes them people, you don't have issues anymore. You don't have anything anymore.
You don't have humans anymore. You don't have humanity. I'm interested to see what their plan is for that moving forwards. They do have a plan though, because we find out that when all of this stuff was happening, other places in the Hollow also flared up with similar activity.
Yeah.
And they were all places we had been to before except for one.
The mystery spot. And what
the 2.5 spot. I mean the 2.6 spot.
But I also liked it because they're like, oh yeah, it's this place, and this place. And like immediately I was like, cool. And they're like, it was really weird. It was like they hit levels of ether activity that haven't been seen since the fall of Eridu. But it happened for like a split second, so it kind of seemed like maybe it was just a malfunction.
It's no big deal. It's totally cool.
And you're like, uh-oh.
Yep. Well, I like this, like we've talked previously about wanting to make sure that as these stories wrap up, we are building towards a greater narrative. I like seeing the places where we're tying like all these disparate places we went to because there was a problem going on that ended up kind of being tied to the creator, but there was just like where we were doing each chapter is kind of coming together. It's just the plan is something we don't have we're not privy to because we're not Sarah. and so we haven't been hearing her plan.
I'm enjoying that they're leaving enough breadcrumbs that you're like, okay, they do have a coherent, overarching narrative. It's not just over here is story A, over here story B, and like the villain keeps showing up, and then we'll defeat the villain in their lair, and that'll be the end. It's like, no, these weren't coincidences that these things were happening.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where they're at. And then so after we're in the wrap up of the story, Dialyn meets up with Zhao, and so I was wrong earlier because I referred to Zhao as the executioner.
Yeah,
we haven't met the executioner.
We don't know. I wrote it down. I'm like, who is this?
I was like, if Zhao and Dialyn are the not bloodthirsty, just kill them person, who is?
Brian, if the executioner has a big axe, you and I are cooked. Like, there's no way we're not like.
you know it's gonna be it's gonna be a woman because women sell better.
Yes. Now let me clarify real quick because I was laughing. I said axe like with an X. If she has a big axe, Brian and I are cooked.
Yeah, but you're not wrong either way.
But I'm not wrong.
And then I like how they she was like, oh, you were supposed to just retrieve his core, and she was like, you know what's better than just a core is him. Also, let's not forget that someone from Topps is the one who made Banyue able to pass the forbidden fruit test.
Yeah, which I originally thought was Ning Chen's sister, but Ning Chen's sister just saved Banyue. Yeah. Someone else like I love this like hinting at people way up above that we haven't seen yet.
Because they talked about like he was a regular Terminator. Yeah. Then someone tampered with him, and then he was just thrown into the Hollow, where he was found and turned back on, and started having. So like, I'm very curious to see where his back, and that's where maybe he could have a VHS is if it's about that time, if they want to do it now, or if they're saving that for this person from Topps is going to be connected to the original Void Hunters and everyone dealing with stuff.
There's one last little beat that we get after being reassured that Ye Sheng Wang used the sword responsibly and she's doing everything right. We find out that she is in fact losing her memories and is being racked with
it. It did eat her memories from her using it. So that it is. If she ever uses the sword, she pays the price.
Yeah.
I think, it clearly, it's better than when it was out of the sheath, because then I think it's just a constant drain.
Yeah. But also, we learned earlier that the way she's able to keep the sheath under control is by reciting a long litany of like essentially spell phrases. Yeah. So I did appreciate that the way that she keeps from losing her memory is to not forget a really complicated sequence of phrases to say. Yeah.
Which they've hinted at it. They hinted at a time or two where like she was forgetting those phrases.
Yeah.
Or at least she was forgetting some phrases. I don't know if they're actually tied to the sword case. But then I also like, because it wasn't just that she's losing her memory, it's that she's incapable of even trying to remember. It's like she can't read the words of the memories she's lost. So like
she can't have a journal.
That makes the journal like mini game that much sadder, because it's kind of pointless. Like
it's an act of futility.
It's a screaming into the wind of like she knows that she can't save these memories, but she's trying with every memory anyway.
I love a tragic character situation. Hers has a lot of capacity. Yeah. It already is, but it can be really.
I'm super excited for this issue to be solved by the time 2.5 comes out, and we can hit Q and we can just make her unleash swords.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, I'm so glad that this only applies in narrative moments, because we're going to be using that ult all day to bust out that cool sword.
Which is fair, because it was
really cool.
It was the same with Miyabi. It's like, oh, if you draw the sword, evil comes out. And then she was like, hey, you guys want to see me draw the sword and make evil kill everyone?
There's 2 ballerinas over there. Oh, there's none ballerinas over there.
But yeah, overall, this is kind of what we've been really bemoaning. Is like we finally get motive and intrigue behind the villain. They're no longer just a random lackeys or a kind of meaningless, like, now I'm really excited to see where this goes, because we have more information on Sarah, and we'll see like how much of her is even left. Does she become this crazy demigod, god vessel thing?
Well, I think whether Sarah continues through, like, whether she continues to be a problem into version 3.0 or not, I think this is about the time to start setting those seeds for what's coming down the pipeline. We know something's up because of all the stuff with the mayor. And, like, the fact that for 2 chapters now, most of, like, New Eridu's heavy hitters that we've met have been in this, like, clandestine meeting with the powers that be. Something's going on.
Because, I'm trying to remember the last time someone major has actually been in, because like I don't count most of the mini games, because I always feel like those are kind of like asynchronous with the actual main story. So, you know, like when we go on like a movie date with Miyabi, but like, you know, like that's
not really happening. Miyabi's doing stuff.
Yeah, those are flashbacks, or, you know, just they're like, we're not even going to address them because we're not going to try to narratively mesh like the world's ending, but also we have to take time to make plans.
Right. I don't. I want them to start seeding that now. I think
Yijuan's gone, Jafufu's gone, Pon's gone. Like they've been gone for 2 chapters now, narratively.
Yeah, and they hinted that like in that meeting, also like Hand was there, and like Pubsec is there. Like something is going on that we're not seeing, which I love. And I'm just hopeful. Like I'm interested to see how they start feeding that to us. Whether or not that ties into the end of the current narrative or not. Yeah. Just so that they don't feel like totally distinct or disjointed chapters.
I also like that they've been able to get Fairy more screen time again. So
Fairy's coming back.
Like she's coming back. Like I think they're making very clear like they haven't forgotten the narrative that they set up with that teaser about how important the AIs are and the original Void Hunters and everything. Like, this wasn't a whole year of unrelated stuff that's never going to come back again. Like, if they continue writing the way they have, whatever happens in the Lemnian Hollow is going to lead us back towards Hollow Zero.
Yep. And things are going to pop off. We should wrap up, Brian. This is going to be another long one, baby.
It's not too bad.
If you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, follow, tell your friends. If you're listening to this on something that is not Apple Podcasts, which is what you would have to do, because I was told 36 episodes into our podcast that we actually weren't on Apple yet. Like, I had to go in there and click a thing. We're in the approval process. So that could take, I'll mention it in an episode. I'll also like keep an eye on it and mention it in our Discord if you're in our Discord. But if you're somebody who prefers Apple Podcasts and you haven't been able to access us because we're not on it, I promise I'm working on it. If you want to join in our conversation, you can join the Discord or send us an email, whatever. Any kind of engagement. It's not just to inflate our own egos. It really does help get us seen by more people. And if more people can see us, it's better conversations, it's better community. We can do more stuff with the podcast. Our next episode, when it comes out, Banyue will be out. So we'll probably talk a little bit about Banyue. It's also going to come out on the 25th of December, which
Merry Christmas.
Crimbus Day.
Happy Krampus.
We'll have to decide, Brian, if we want to do a special thing for Christmas Day. We'll record it like way early, but that's the next episode. Will be on Christmas Day. It'll be a Christmas gift to you. We'll be listening to us ramble. Happy Honda days.
Hey, it's better than spending time with your family.
Yeah, I can't hang out with you, Grandma Peepops. I gotta listen to these guys talk about a robot monk. Until next time, y'all.
Zhao for now.